Welcome back to the channel, Outriders. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Eye of the Storm end-game encounter. I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of an understanding on how the mechanics work, to expect where the waves come from, and how to handle the boss fight itself after you get through the first three pillars. So if you are not wanting any spoilers or want to go into it blind, feel free to turn around now. This is for those that want to know how to maximize it or maybe struggling on beating it solo or with a group. So all of these strategies will work whether or not you are solo or with friends, because it really doesn't change much depending on bringing people in. Actually, there's only one mechanic I think changes at all between multiplayer and solo. So let's start with the first one, the base wave, which is kind of like preparation, considered foreplay, if you will, for the boss fight. There are three pillars that are based on a time that you have to protect and guard, and when that time is up, it'll activate that pillar, then you move to the next one. Now, in Ultimate Endgame, when everybody's at perfect builds, this is supposed to be sped run with a squad of 3, where each of you have your own individual pillars, so you can maximize your time and completion, and potentially farm this at the Ultimate Endgame. But in the meantime, while you're learning it, I recommend doing it one pillar at a time to not activate a bunch of enemies. So you can do them in any order that you want, and I'm going to show you the order that I do them. So the pillar first out the gate I use. So just a few adds coming from the left side of the map. You eventually get to deal with a Broodmother. You take her out by shooting the sweet spot in the armpits, and it's as easy as that. After that, I rotate to the left side. We handle adds from the far right side of the map and maintain 2 crawlers that spawn, shooting them right into the little face holes. Put those down if you got good DPS coming through. Lastly, when that one is done and activated, you move to the back side of the arena and you do that one. That one, again, is a lot of wave clear, most of it from the original spawn area. And there will be a giant dog that comes out, but he is fairly easy to put down and maintain, and he's very susceptible to crowd control, freezes, and stuff like that, so you can put him down with relative ease. Assuming you complete all this and you do it with relative ease, you can probably handle the boss fight. If you're struggling in this part, you might need to go back and perfect your gear a little further. Now, the boss fight is simple. There are going to be portions of this boss fight where he shields up, or you can't really worry about him and you have to maintain adds. Now, this is where things get complicated. After you complete that third pillar, you're introduced to a cutscene, and then the boss fight starts immediately. My recommendation is to rush the boss immediately. Freeze him, crowd control him any way you possibly can, and try to root him in place. Right before his first health bar is depleted, he will spawn 2 sword guys. These are the most annoying things in the game, because when they start their combos, they are like unstoppable. So my strategy is to freeze them, or root them in place in some way before they can start their combo. So it's like aggression. They spawn right where the boss does. So if you're like running a Technomancer, Cold Snap at the top of that hill where the boss spawns, will freeze both of them. Melt them immediately, and you're through the hardest part of the encounter. So from there, where do you go? It's a matter of juggling his anomalies as well. So the boss himself is not necessarily a direct threat to you as long as you keep mobile, running around, and rolling. There is one ability that can pretty much straight kill you if it hits you and you're not paying attention, but realistically, that is a rare occurrence, even if you're solo or with a team. But you just keep moving around and he's not a big threat. Be prepared to roll. The one thing that he does do that is complicated are he puts up those orbs, and those orbs are little mini turrets. Those hit, and if you're not managing him well enough and you're not keeping those orbs in check, they will spawn so quickly that it only takes 2 or 3 hits from those and you are dead. Whether or not you're solo or not, it is definitely the scariest part of the raid, and it's what ruined my world's first solo completion. So you have to keep those in check. Don't just let those stay around and alive. Now, it's very hard to maintain them once the waves start picking up. Once you've completed and killed those 2 sword guys, then you're allowed to clear the arena and start DPSing the boss again until he hits another threshold. When you get the health just low enough again, he's going to spawn a wave of enemies, including another one of those sword guys. Again, he spawns up there on the hill. Have somebody ready for this, learn the patterns and the health marks, and freeze him before he starts going, because once he starts going, the only way to take him down is a lucky freeze or crowd control in between his animations, or killing him and DPSing him before he can go any further. Very complicated. Not easy to do solo, and that will continue throughout the rest of the entire boss encounter. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. DPS is going to be huge for this, but anomalies are your maintenance. You got to keep those in check because, again, I cannot emphasize enough, those are going to be what ruin your run if you can't keep them in check. And don't be afraid to pause in between these encounters. If you happen to get them to 1 health threshold and you kill the sword guys and you're killing the anomalies and you've already burnt through a round of your blighted mags, waste it, wait for your cooldowns, take that minute or so for them to come back, start the next wave fresh, DPS the boss, activate the next wave, and continue to do that. Be prepared, take it slow. It's all about completing it. You're not in a race, you're not doing this for loot, you're doing this for the W. Now, another thing to mention is that this is all about, I guess, patterns. The enemies are going to spawn in pretty much the same area every time, whether or not you're doing the pillars or the boss fight. Get used to where the sword guys spawn, kill them or freeze them before they start moving, and this is smooth sailing. They're honestly the biggest threat, and the only other thing you really need to worry about are the anomaly, those little orbs that spawn and shoot those orbs. Those are the only other problem, and that is my strategy. Get used to the spawns. I've shown them on the screen. Just dive those, maintain those, ideally kill them before they can start doing their combinations, because they can literally jump from one side of the map to another, and it's endless stagger, endless swings. They will kill you, and it's just relentless, my friends. So that is my guide for Eye of the Storm. Just the more you run it, the more confident and comfortable you'll be with the spawns. You'll get it down, you'll get better every time you push it and replay it, until eventually it becomes just second nature to you. So thank you guys for the support. I hope this video has come in handy for some of you. I know a lot of people have struggled with figuring out how to do the sword guys, but again, I prefer aggression. If you can catch them before they can start attacking you, they're not a big deal. Other than that, you're going to have to find another way to root them in place or kill them in squads before they take out your teammates. It's a lot of risk, and it's totally worth it. It's a great challenge. So thank you guys for supporting this video. If you can, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. We got a lot more build videos and other content coming down the line with Outriders. Thanks again. Good luck out there. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below.